Hi everyone, today we'll be learning about note values in music. First, let's define what note values are. A note value indicates the length of a note, meaning how long you hold the note for. Every note has three parts: the note head, the stem, and the flag. Each of these parts can tell you the note value. There are many different notes, and here are some of the ones that are commonly seen in music pieces. The first note we'll be learning about is a quarter note. The note head, which is the circular part here, is filled in and there's no flag at the top of the stem. The note value of a quarter note is 1 beat in a measure with a time signature of 4/4. A measure is a short phrase in a music piece. The top number of a time signature, which in this case is 4, tells you how many beats are in a measure. The bottom number, which in this case is also 4, tells you the type of note that gets 1 beat. In this case, there are 4 beats in one measure, and a quarter note gets 1 beat. A measure is made up of just quarter notes would sound like this. The next note we'll be learning about today is an eighth note. An eighth note kind of looks like a quarter note, but it has a flag at the top of the stem. Each flag on a note means that it is half as long. In the case of an eighth note, the note value of it in a measure with the time signature of 4/4 is half a beat. But if we were to add another flag to the eighth note, this new note, which is called a 16th note, would be half as long as the eighth note. This can keep going and the note would become very short in value. Going back to the eighth note, a measure made up of just eighth notes would sound like this. The next note we'll be learning about is a half note. A half note kind of looks like a quarter note, but the note head has space in the middle. In a measure with a time signature of 4/4, the note value of a half note is 2 beats. A half note is twice as long as a quarter note, and is half as long as the entire measure. A measure made up of just half notes would sound like this. The last note we'll be learning about is a whole note. A whole note looks similar to a half note, except there is no stem. It's just an oval with space in the middle. In a measure with a time signature of 4/4, the note value of a whole note is 4 beats. It's twice as long as a half note, 4 times as long as a quarter note, and it takes up the entire measure. A measure made up of just whole notes would sound like this. And that is the end of today's lesson about note values in music. Hope you learned something new today.